Tang Sen smiled slightly and said, I call it a sleeve dart, or a silent sleeve dart. All you need to do is activate the switch, and the 3 small darts inside will shoot out according to your control. You can shoot one at a time or all 3 at once. Because it makes very little noise when activated, it's hard for your opponent to detect, making it very effective against opponents of similar strength. Xiao Wu asked in surprise, Why have you never used this when we sparred before? Tang San responded with a calm smile, Silly, we are classmates and friends. How could I use such a lethal weapon against you? Remember when I hit you with a stone? Do you think that was just a coincidence? Look, there's a mosquito over there. Following Tang San's pointing finger, Xiao Wu saw a mosquito buzzing about 3 meters away, barely visible in the moonlight. If I tell you I can hit its left wing without killing it, would you believe me? Tang San asked. Xiao Wu stared at him. Are you joking? Tang San's eyes flashed with a purple light, and his right hand suddenly moved. A faint shadow streaked through the air, and the mosquito disappeared. Taking Xiao Wu's hand, Tang San led her to a nearby tree. Even without his pointing, Xiao Wu could clearly see a 3-inch-long steel needle embedded in the trunk, glinting in the starlight. Beneath the needle, a mosquito was pinned, struggling but alive. How did you do that? Xiao Wu asked in shock. If she hadn't been with Tang San the entire time, she would have thought it was prearranged. Tang San pulled out the steel needle and, as he opened his hand, it disappeared. That's my secret. I call it hidden weapons. Even my father doesn't know about it. I just wanted to show you that I have the ability to protect my sister. Xiao Wu, always interested in new things, excitedly shook Tang San's hand. Big brother, can you teach me? Tang Sen smiled wryly. With your violent tendencies, who knows how many people would suffer if you learned to use hidden weapons. Moreover, learning hidden weapons isn't something you can master overnight. The sleeve dart I gave you is a type of hidden weapon. You should focus on mastering it first. Teaching Tang sect hidden weapons wasn't easy. It required the foundational skill of Xiantian Kung. Xiao Wu already had strong soul power, so starting from scratch with Xiantian Kung wasn't feasible. Tang San had decided to make mechanical hidden weapons for her in the future, which would suffice for her needs. Tang San personally strapped the sleeve dart onto Xiao Wu's left arm, adjusting it to fit perfectly. Then, he explained its use in detail, letting her practice a few times. Xiao Wu quickly grew fond of her new toy. While Xiao Wu continued practicing, Tang Sen looked up at the stars and muttered to himself, Father, do you really believe that I need to be away from you to become strong? Don't worry, I will train hard and become a real man. Someday, I will make you proud. Tang sect, I have left you for 6 years, but I will always be part of you. Here in the Doluwa continent, I will revive everything the Tang sect stood for. His pale, jade-like hands suddenly flicked out, sending countless silver threads shooting skyward. Tang San's eyes glowed with a purple light. 5 years later, the Balik Kingdom, located in the south of the Heaven Do Empire and bordering the Fasno province, was not large. It was only 3/4 the size of Fasno province and was one of the 4 kingdoms under the Heaven Do Empire. The king of Balik, Kandera, was a cousin of the current Heaven Do Emperor, Okura. In the south, the Balik Kingdom directly bordered the Star Luo Empire, making it the most militarized of the 4 kingdoms and effectively the gatekeeper of the Heaven Do Empire. Originally, the Heaven Do Empire had 10 provinces. With the establishment of the 4 kingdoms, 6 major powers formed. The empire itself directly controlled 5 provinces. The 4 kingdoms each controlled 1, and there was 1 principality slightly smaller than the kingdoms in the easternmost province. On the surface, the 4 kingdoms and the principality were under the Heaven Do Empire's rule, but in reality, they had long become states within a state. Besides the necessary tributes, They were completely autonomous. If not for the royal family's control over significant military forces, internal conflicts might have already erupted. The Star Luo Empire faced similar issues. Though appearing powerful, both empires were in decline, and the future held the potential for sudden changes in the continent's political landscape. In the Baloch Kingdom, there were two important cities: the capital, Baloch City, where King Kandera resided, serving as the political and economic center, and Soto City, located in the fertile Lima Plains, known as Baloch's Granary. Both cities were heavily fortified and critical to the kingdom. Soto City was large, evidenced by its third-tier martial spirit temple. Just past noon, under a blazing sun, two young individuals entered Soto City through the west gate. They appeared to be in their teens, traveling light, a boy and a girl. The boy was dressed simply, looking about 12 or 13 years old, standing around 1.7 meters tall. He wore light blue, practical clothing, giving him a neat appearance. Around his waist was a belt embedded with 24 jade stones. His black, medium-length hair barely touched his shoulders. While he wasn't particularly handsome, his face had a kind and approachable quality, with a faint smile always on his lips. If the boy seemed plain and ordinary, the girl beside him was anything but. Her long, silky black hair was neatly braided into a scorpion braid that reached past her calves. She was slightly taller than the boy, wearing a pink top that tightly hugged her developing figure. If her chest wasn't yet ample, her slim, delicate waist would surely make many women envious. Her long, taut legs were encased in white trousers, showcasing a perfect golden ratio. Despite her young age and the childishness still present on her face, her round, pert buttocks already hinted at future allure. Her naturally shaped eyebrows and large, watery eyes complemented her slightly round, rosy cheeks, giving her a charming, cute appearance. It was as if the word adorable was made for her. Standing next to her, the boy was easily overshadowed by her vibrant presence. The girl raised her hand to brush her slightly damp forehead, complaining, "Finally, we've reached this Soto City. I don't understand why the master insisted on us coming here. Several intermediate soul master academies offered to admit us unconditionally, but he insisted on you taking the entrance exam for that ungraded, broken academy." The boy smiled gently. "The master wanted me to take the exam. He didn't ask you to come. Who made you insist on coming along? Fortunately, the Baloch Kingdom borders the Fasno province, or you would have complained even more." The girl rolled her eyes at the boy. So heartless. "I'm only here for you. Who told you to be my brother? The exam is the day after tomorrow. No matter what, you have to accompany me around Soto City for 2 days to make up for the trauma my innocent heart has suffered." The boy chuckled, the famous big sister of Nuoding Academy for 6 years, with an innocent heart. If your little followers saw this, they might jump into the river immediately. This boy and girl were Tang San and Xiao Wu, who had come from Nuoding Primary Soul Master Academy. 5 years had passed, and they had successfully graduated from Nuoding Primary Soul Master Academy. Given their talents, Nuoding Academy had planned to directly recommend them to intermediate Soul Master Academies, and several prestigious academies had sent invitations, giving them many options. However, the master had insisted that Tang San decline all invitations and come to this place called Shrek Academy in Soto City. After 6 years of teaching, Tang San respected the master as if he were his father. He understood that the master had his best interests at heart, so he agreed without hesitation. Over the past 6 years, Tang San and Xiao Wu had become as close as real siblings. Since Tang San chose this path, Xiao Wu naturally followed. Before they left, the master told Tang San that he needed to visit the capital and would meet them later. The 6 years at Nuoding were incredibly fulfilling for Tang San. His days were filled with classes in the morning, work in the afternoon, and training at night, leaving him almost no free time. At 12 years old, he no longer looked as thin as before. Working at the blacksmith shop had given him a strong physique, not bulky, but lean and muscular, covered with explosive power. Xiao Wu pouted, "I don't care. Will you agree or not?" Tang Sen chuckled, "As you wish. But after such a long journey, aren't you tired? Shouldn't we find a place to stay first? It's almost noon. Let's eat first." Xiao Wu smiled. "That sounds better." Tang San rarely went against her wishes. Since they had established their sibling relationship, he always looked after her like a big brother. Though he was busy, his unintentional care made Xiao Wu enjoy this feeling. Soto City was much larger and busier than Nuoding City, with soldiers patrolling the streets and bustling crowds everywhere. After a simple meal, they searched for a place to stay. It wasn't long before Xiao Wu spotted a unique-looking hotel. The hotel was 3 stories high, not particularly large, but its exterior was entirely rose-colored, designed to look like a giant rose, instantly catching the eye. Rose Hotel. "Xiao San, let's stay here," Xiao Wu suggested. Tang Sen shrugged, "As you wish." Over the years, he had saved a decent amount from working and the stipend from the Spirit Hall. Xiao Wu never cared about money and spent freely, so to avoid overspending, she gave all her income to Tang San for safekeeping, letting him manage it to save some money. Entering the Rose Hotel, they were greeted by the strong scent of roses, a soothing and slightly amorous fragrance that made them feel relaxed. The hotel's interior was decorated in 3 colors, white, silver, and rose red, creating a warm, unique, and elegant atmosphere. Tang San approached the counter. "Could we have 2 rooms, please?" The receptionist quickly stood up, glancing at Tang San, then at Xiao Wu, with a hint of envy in her eyes. "Sir, are you sure you want 2 rooms?" Tang San nodded. "Is there a problem?" The receptionist's eyes twinkled with a touch of amusement. "I'm sorry, but we only have 1 room left." "1 room?" Tang San frowned. Having lived 2 lifetimes, he felt it was inappropriate to share a room with Xiao Wu now that they both had more adult-like bodies. He remembered well the saying that men and women should not be too close. The receptionist emphasized, "Yes, only 1 room. But don't worry, our rooms are very spacious and fully equipped, more than enough for 2 people." He gave Tang San a look that could only be understood through intuition, but Tang San didn't catch on. Xiao Wu nonchalantly said, "1 room is fine. Didn't we always share the same dorm room back in Nuoding? No big deal. We can save some money to buy pretty clothes." Tang Sen shook his head helplessly. He wasn't stubborn by nature. He could sleep on the floor, and since he usually trained at night, that would be the best rest for him. "All right then, please give us this room," he said. Just as the receptionist was about to proceed, a sudden voice interrupted him. "I believe this room belongs to me." Tang San and Xiao Wu turned to see 3 people walking towards the counter, 1 man and 2 women. The 2 girls were dressed flamboyantly, appearing to be about 17 or 18 years old, slightly taller than Xiao Wu. The most surprising part was that they looked exactly the same. They were twins. However, Tang San's attention was drawn not to the stunning girls, but to the man between them. The man was about 1.8 meters tall, half a head taller than Tang San, looking younger than the girls with him. He had broad shoulders, a handsome and somewhat stern face, and long golden hair that flowed down to his waist. His hair was not curly but straight and smooth. What stood out most were his eyes, strange eyes with double pupils in each, a deep blue that seemed to pierce with a cold, inner chill. His gaze felt like a blade cutting through the air, making those who met it feel as if they were being sliced. With such striking features, this man was bound to attract attention anywhere. Tang San's first thought was, "He's strong." The twin girls each held one of the man's arms, and he didn't even glance at Tang San. His gaze briefly swept over Xiao Wu, showing a flash of curiosity that disappeared quickly. The young man addressed the receptionist. "You must be new here. Don't you know there should always be a room reserved for me?" The receptionist hesitated. "You are?" The man, clearly irritated, said, "Call your manager." The receptionist felt a chill from the man's gaze and quickly ran to fetch his superior. Tang San spoke calmly, "Sir, we were here first." The man didn't even turn his head, replying coldly, "So what?" He had no habit of explaining himself to others. Tang San was generally mild-tempered, but Xiao Wu wasn't so easy to push around. She swiftly moved next to Tang San. "So what?" "Get lost." The man finally turned, his cold, eerie gaze fixed on Xiao Wu. He nodded slightly. "Interesting. It's been a while since someone spoke to me like that. You have spirit power, so you must be spirit masters. Fine. You can come at me together. If you beat me, I'll leave immediately. Otherwise, show me how you plan to roll away." As he spoke, the twin girls giggled without any concern, letting go of his arms and stepping aside. At this moment, the earlier receptionist returned with a middle-aged man who seemed anxious after overhearing the conversation between the man and Tang San. "Please, let's not fight," the manager implored. The man shot him a sidelong glance. "Manager Wang, your business practices are slipping." Manager Wang wiped the sweat from his forehead, smiling apologetically. "Young Master Dai, please don't say that. It's all a misunderstanding. This boy just started yesterday and didn't know the rules. I'll arrange a room for you right away." Turning to Tang San and Xiao Wu, he apologized profusely. "I'm very sorry, but this room is reserved for young Master Dai. Please find another place to stay." Given Tang San's temperament, he might have let it go and looked for another hotel. But Xiao Wu, with her fiery personality, wasn't so easily appeased. "We're not moving. What now? You think you can bully us just because we're young?" Young Master Dai sneered. "It's not that easy to leave after insulting me." "Young Master Dai, please." Manager Wang pleaded, his face full of distress. Young Master Dai's eyes flashed with a sharp light. "Enough. I'll cover any losses." Having been the top dog at Nuoding Academy, Xiao Wu couldn't stand such arrogance. She was about to rush in and start a fight. Tang Sen grabbed her shoulder. "Let me handle this." Xiao Wu protested. "Why? I can handle him. I'll beat him so badly his mother won't recognize him." Tang San frowned. "A girl should speak properly. Have you forgotten my promise? I'll always protect you. This is a matter between men." He didn't want Xiao Wu to fight because he sensed the opponent's strength and feared she might get hurt. Moreover, if they were to lose, he would rather endure the humiliation himself than let Xiao Wu suffer. Hearing Tang San's promise to always protect her, Xiao Wu's angry expression softened. She glanced at Tang San and said, "Be careful then." "You don't need to argue," the man known as Dai Xiao said impatiently. "I told you, you both can come at me together." Tang San calmly took 2 steps forward. "Please enlighten me." Dai Xiao's eyes flashed with a wicked light. His right fist suddenly shot up as he lunged forward, aiming directly at Tang San's chest. His movements were simple, without any flourish, but Tang San's expression changed. The force and speed of the punch were at their peak, achieved through extensive combat experience. Tang San knew he couldn't retreat. If he did, his opponent's momentum would only grow, making the punch even more powerful. Instead of retreating, he advanced. His right foot stepped forward 3 meters, closing the distance between them to disrupt his opponent's rhythm. Tang Sen also threw a right punch, his fist turning a milky white as he summoned his inner strength. With a dull thud, Dai Xiao's forward momentum abruptly stopped, while Tang San staggered back 4 or 5 steps before regaining his balance. Dai Xiao's eyes flashed with surprise. He hadn't expected the younger boy to take his punch head-on. What surprised Dai Xiao the most was Tang San's fist. Despite having the upper hand in attack power, his right hand throbbed with pain, as if he had struck solid iron. Tang San was equally astonished. His punch had combined the internal force of the mysterious heaven skill, his own considerable strength from years of blacksmithing, and the hardening ability of the mysterious jade hand. Yet, he was still overpowered. Dai Xiao's strength was not merely raw power but focused and concentrated, exploding with an impact that sent Tang San's blood churning within his body. Very good. Being able to take my punch qualifies you as my opponent, Dai Xiao said coldly, leaping into the air. This time, his attack was far from simple. He pounced from the ground, limbs extending in a seemingly vulnerable position, but his subtle movements indicated countless follow-up attacks. Tang San's expression grew serious. He bent his knees, toes pointed inward, and legs tensed. His left arm circled outward while his right arm pushed from inside, adopting a unique stance. Dai Xiao's move was a signature technique, appearing full of openings yet hiding profound attacking methods. As he descended to strike, a formless force rose from below. This force was sticky rather than impactful, yet tenacious. Suspended in the air, Dai Xiao felt himself being pushed off course, his attack missing its target. What is this power? Dai Xiao wondered briefly. His battle-hardened reflexes kicked in, twisting his torso midair to land gracefully on the ground. Tang San seized the moment. As Dai Xiao landed, Tang San moved in with the ghost shadow perplexing track, covering the distance with 3 quick steps. His palms aimed for Dai Xiao's shoulders. Dai Xiao's 4 pupils flashed simultaneously. He yelled, his shoulders twitching back, and his fists shot up to hit Tang San's elbows. His punches crackled with fierce energy, demonstrating his immense power. At the same time, Dai Xiao's right leg snapped up, aiming for Tang San's chin from a close range. Any hit from his fists or leg could incapacitate Tang San instantly. But Tang San was prepared. His palms slid down from Dai Xiao's shoulders, redirecting the force, causing Dai Xiao's arms to swing wide and miss their mark. Simultaneously, Tang San sidestepped, avoiding the leg, and crashed his shoulder into Dai Xiao's chest, taking advantage of Dai Xiao's weakened position. With a thud, Tang San's shoulder struck Dai Xiao's chest. Dai Xiao flew back, flipping through the air and landing 5 meters away. Tang San did not follow up, watching Dai Xiao land. Despite the solid hit, Tang San knew he hadn't gained much ground in the confrontation. As Tang San collided with Dai Xiao, the latter's chest muscles suddenly hardened like iron. Although Tang San's advantage sent Dai Xiao flying, his own shoulder burned with pain from the impact. Dai Xiao's face darkened, realizing he had underestimated his opponent. The young boy before him was far more formidable than he appeared. Do you want to continue? Tang San asked calmly. Dai Xiao's wicked eyes gleamed. Of course. You force me to use my spirit power, which means I've already lost this match. However, I can't be satisfied without a proper fight. Regardless of the outcome, this room is yours. His gaze reflected a unique light, not of anger or hatred, but a predatory excitement. His eyes glimmered as if he were admiring a rare beauty. He raised his arms, his shoulders trembling slightly. Tang San noticed a change in Dai Xiao. Previously cold and disdainful, Dai Xiao now radiated a fiery battle intent. White tiger, possession. A fierce white light erupted from Dai Xiao. His arms extended, chest thrust out, and his bones cracked audibly as his muscles bulged, straining his clothes. Each muscle became sharply defined, and even the air around him seemed to grow restless. His golden hair turned black and white, mostly white with a few striking black strands. for faint lines appeared on his forehead, 3 horizontal and 1 vertical, forming the character for king. His hands transformed the most, doubling in size, covered with white fur. As he flexed his fingers, short, dagger-like claws extended and retracted, each one 8 inches long and razor-sharp. Dai Xiao hunched forward, his 4 pupils turning a deep, ominous blue, giving him the appearance of a killing machine. 3 bright rings of light rose from his feet, 2 yellow, 1 purple. The rings radiated his overwhelming spirit power, creating a pressure that crashed over Tang San. "Thousand-year spirit ring," Xiao Wu exclaimed, her eyes filled with panic. She moved to stand by Tang San but was stopped by him. In the world of spirit rings, white represented 10 years, yellow 100 years, and purple 1,000 years. The young man known as Dai Xiao possessed 3 spirit rings, including a 1,000-year ring, despite appearing only a few years older than Tang San and Xiao Wu. 3 spirit rings meant Dai Xiao's level was above 30, making him a spirit elder, and his powerful beast spirit classified him as a battle spirit elder. Dai Mubai, spirit, white tiger, level 37 battle spirit elder. "Please enlighten me," he declared, exuding an intimidating aura. Under immense pressure, Tang San felt his own hidden aggression rising. His eyes took on a faint purple hue as he slowly raised his right hand. Deep blue light surged forth as a clump of dark blue grass sprouted from his palm. Each blade was thin but covered in snake-like patterns, transforming from flat to cylindrical with tiny thorns. Milky white light emanated from Tang San, causing the blue blades to swell, becoming as thick as an arm and resembling coiled vines. The black snake patterns glowed faintly as the vines writhed around him like serpents. 2 yellow spirit rings rose from Tang San's feet, encircling him. Tang San, spirit, blue silver grass, level 29 spirit grandmaster. "Please enlighten me." Dai Mubai's white eyebrows twitched. "Your spirit is just blue silver grass?" Tang San quoted his master. "There are no useless spirits, only useless spirit masters." Dai Mubai was the second strongest spirit master Tang San had encountered since joining Nuoding Primary Spirit Master Academy. Only the Academy's principal, a 42nd level tool spirit sage, had been stronger. However, the principal was over 50 years old, while Dai Mubai appeared to be only 16 or 17. No wonder Tang San had struggled against him earlier, despite using his strength, internal energy, and mysterious jade hand. The absolute difference in power was apparent. Dai Mubai was the strongest opponent Tang San had faced, and the gap created by an additional spirit ring was significant. Especially with Dai Mubai's 3rd ring being a 1,000-year ring, its attributes and skills far surpassed Tang San's 2 rings. Tang San had no certainty of victory. He might need to use his most secret abilities to stand a chance. "Well said. There are no useless spirits, only useless spirit masters. Let me see what's special about your blue silver grass." Dai Mubai moved. Transformed by his spirit, he seemed like a different person. As his white hair floated, his explosively powerful body appeared before Tang San. His 10 claws extended simultaneously, slashing towards Tang San. Tang San almost instantly retreated, using his ghost shadow perplexing track technique to narrowly evade Dai Mubai's attack. Simultaneously, his blue-silver grass spirit moved swiftly, sending thick, blue-black vines spiraling outwards from all directions toward Dai Mubai. Tang San himself seemed to vanish within the mass of vines. Dai Mubai's evil eyes flashed, his body surging with soul power as he swung his arms, repelling the approaching vines one by one. He initially intended to sever the thick vines formed by the blue-silver grass directly, but to his surprise, these vines were exceptionally tough. Despite his tiger claws being infused with the soul power of a level 37 soul master, he could only cut halfway through the vines, which quickly healed once they were out of his claws' range. A faintly sweet tea fragrance spread among the vines, which seemed endless as they continuously surged from all directions. Although Dai Mubai's strength and speed had significantly increased due to his martial spirit, he couldn't break free from the range of the vines. "Is this blue silvergrass?" Dai Mubai was astonished. He had never imagined that blue silvergrass could be so formidable. Despite his opponent having one less spirit ring, the blue silvergrass could temporarily entangle him. If Tang San had the same number of spirit rings as him, the outcome of this battle would be uncertain. Dai Mubai was never a patient person, but his competitiveness was exceptionally strong. Intense white light suddenly shone, and his evil eyes turned white. The first of the 3 spirit rings on his body radiated a bright light, forming a white barrier that blocked the surrounding vines from approaching. Next, the second spirit ring on his body lit up. With a roar, Dai Mubai spewed a mass of milky white light from his mouth. Dai Mubai's first 2 spirit ring abilities, White Tiger Barrier and White Tiger Light Wave, were activated simultaneously, demonstrating their terrifying power. From the outside, Dai Mubai's body was already ensnared by the massive vines. As Xiaowu breathed a sigh of relief, countless beams of white light suddenly shot out from the gaps in the vines, followed by a muffled explosion. The vines formed by the blue-silver grass instantly shattered, and the powerful shockwave wreaked havoc in the Rose Hotel's lobby. Martial spirits and their hosts are one. Tang San's face turned pale as he took a step back to steady himself. The white light gradually receded, revealing Dai Mubai's robust figure. The shattered blue-silver grass began to reassemble around Tang San, though the amount was noticeably less than before. Tang San, beast spirits always have stronger attack power than tool spirits. Your blue-silver grass has impressed me, but it still can't hold me. Tang San smiled faintly. Not necessarily. Suddenly, the second spirit ring on Tang San's body glowed brightly. Dai Mubai's body stiffened, and a layer of fine vines, which had somehow appeared on him, instantly grew tighter, binding his body firmly. The thorns on the vines, though only an inch long, caused intense pain and gradually numbed Dai Mubai's body as they tightened. Before Tang San reached level 20, Grandmaster had already decided which type of spirit beast his second ring should come from. Tang San's second spirit ring was obtained from a plant-type spirit beast known as Ghost Vine. The maximum age limit for absorbing this spirit ring was 764 years, and the one Tang San obtained had at least 600 years of cultivation. Ghost Vine is a terrifying plant-type spirit beast with potent neurotoxins. Once its thorns pierce a target, the toxins quickly spread, turning the target into mush to nourish the vine. Even more feared is Ghost Vine's parasitic ability. When attacking, it releases numerous tiny seeds that parasitize the enemy. If the Ghost Vine provides sufficient energy or the seeds absorb enough nutrients, they grow on the host, spreading the neurotoxins. To acquire this 600-year-old Ghost Vine spirit ring, even the 42nd level Tool Spirit Master and Headmaster of the Nodding Academy struggled to subdue it, relying on his spirit's inherent advantages to help Tang San deliver the final blow. With the Ghost Vine spirit ring, Tang San's attributes improved significantly. The blue-silver grass became more resilient and took on the appearance of Ghost Vine, though its color and patterns remained. Its toxins transformed into neurotoxins, greatly enhancing its effect, even producing a certain effect when evaporating into the air. The spirit ring skill granted by the Ghost Vine spirit ring was Parasite. Through the infusion of spirit power, the parasitic ability of the Ghost Vine could manifest even more effectively than the original, causing the seeds to grow instantaneously, directly ensnaring the target. This made it a highly insidious control skill. The toughness of the dual-ring blue-silver grass was evident as Mubai, with his level 37 soul power, couldn't completely cut through it. He had underestimated Tang San and the blue-silver grass, thus falling into the trap. Seeing the surprise in Mubai's eyes, Tang San said, "My blue-silver grass is poisonous. You should have already inhaled some." Activating your soul power to unleash powerful attacks would have accelerated your blood flow, making the toxin work faster. Although you might not feel it, your skin has started to numb, allowing the parasitic blue-silver grass seeds to take hold. So, you lost. Mubai looked at Tang San, his body almost entirely wrapped in blue-silver grass, his evil eyes flashing fiercely. Fine blue-silver grass. If I had only 2 rings like you, I would indeed have lost. My body is numb, making it hard to break free. But I still have 1 more ring than you. Let me show you the skill of my 3rd spirit ring. The purple ring instantly shone, warping the air around Mubai. His evil eyes turned blood red, and suddenly, the blue-silver grass entwining him swelled and exploded into powder. Mubai's body underwent a second transformation. Tang San gasped, "Is this the power of a Millennium Spirit Ring?"